Hi, my name is Aisha Majid, and I'm a volunteer with the Mental Health Center at San Diego City College. And I'm here today to do a presentation on changing your narrative.
And my name is Dana, and I also work in the mental health office as a program assistant. I work closely with our mental health peers and our Active Minds Club. So on this slide, we want to give you a few inspirational quotes. Let's just start with, "You can do it." When you work hard for something that you believe in, it's called passion. When you work hard for something that you don't believe in, it's called stress. We want to remind you to not get trapped in your insecurities. Just know what you can do and do it. If you need that extra support, ask for it.
So in this slide, we're covering some myths and some truth.
Yes.
Yes, right, Dana? I'm gonna just read off like 4 of these myths. That's on this slide. Think of, I don't know if you've heard this before, and I'm talking to everyone in the audience. Men are better at math. I've heard that one before. Math is not creative. Asians are good at math.
Yeah, definitely heard that one before.
Right. You have to be smart to be good at math. I even believe that one. I used to believe that one. But the truth is, these are all common misconceptions. And these quotes are centered around math, but it can apply to life, to your ethnicity, to your sex, to your age, right? So
Yes.
according to, yeah, right, Dina? You want to add? Do you know any myths that you can think of that's not on this slide?
Some I will probably say, like, even that women are more like communicate better, or women are more likely to ask for help than men are to ask for help. I think the list goes on, and I feel like it goes hand in hand with different gender roles that we're given, and it ends up translating into our studies.
Yeah, right. That's a good segue into education. And I know we're going to touch a little bit about how the misconceptions in school, or in college or education, right? But the truth is, I'm gonna read off the slide just to kind of break down what we're talking about. A common misconception about math is that it requires raw intellectual talent or brilliance. Only students who possess this sort of brilliance are assumed to be capable of success in math related subjects. This harmful myth has far-reaching consequences for the success of girls and children from ethnic minority backgrounds in these subjects. Because women and minorities are stereotyped of lacking brilliance, the myth that success in math requires this trait is a barrier that students from these groups have to overcome. And Dana, like, this quote touches home for me because I feel like I'm one of those students that struggled in math because of the misconception. I didn't even want to get and further my education because I'm like, math, nope, can't do it, can't do it. And as soon as I just said, you know what, I have to do math to get this degree, I centered myself and I got it done. And now I'm a graduate of City College.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide.
Cultural encompasses. Cultural encompasses is the set of beliefs, moral values, traditions, language, and laws or rules of behavior held in common by a nation, a community, or other defined groups of people. So we are here to ask you, you can even pause this video and write it down, or just have it at the forefront of your mind. What are your core beliefs? Thank you for pausing the video. And now I would like to ask you again, like, can you take a minute to think about an experience that contributed to the way you feel about your education? It can be positive or negative. We just want you to kind of self-reflect and see how your experiences have altered how you think about your education.
Yeah. This is a good question to really reflect on. I don't think that many of us take the time. I think we're all caught up in everyday. Well, you know what? Let me speak for myself. I get caught up in everyday life and I don't realize that a lot of things that I do stem from my core beliefs, my major that I've picked, the way I'm raising my children, what I'm eating, things like that, right? Like, what comes to your mind, Dana?
What comes to my mind is a story from high school. So in high school, I know I'm a good writer. And so in high school, I had a teacher that told me, wow, you write well for a person of your background. So I already knew I wrote well, but the fact that someone from a different community looked at me and thought maybe just because you're from a certain community, you don't write well. I believe that can have either a positive or negative impact on the person that's being told that. So with me, I believe it had kind of both positive and negative impact. Positive because I was like, well, I'm going to show you wrong. Like I'm going to be this person and writing well and trying to learn new words so I can relate things differently. And then also it was negative because when I got to my senior year of college, I was like, I know I write well, like, is this good enough? So I started kind of second guessing myself when stress was involved. I was like, okay, this is my senior paper. Like, I need this to graduate and it has to be done well. So I started second guessing myself, like, could I have written that differently? Or is that, articulated correctly? So I think every experience you have has positive or negative impacts on your education.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And your core beliefs play a part in that. And that's the purpose of our presentation. But I know for me, and I didn't get reinforced in math. It wasn't something, I mean, it was something that we needed to do to graduate or high school or what have you. Okay, do your math homework.
Right.
But I lacked the confidence. And I do think in any subject, if you want to be an artist, if you feel like your drawings are not good, right? Then you're like, I can't be an artist. But your art can really be beautiful to someone else. So I mean, it's just how you feel. And then once I grasped that feeling of I can do it, the sky was the limit.
Right. So changing your narrative. There are resources here at City College that can help you succeed as a student. So we have tutoring. In tutoring, they have different subjects that they tutor in. It's not only math, but you can get tutoring in languages, you can get tutoring in English, you can get tutoring in your sciences. So that is probably the very first step to take when seeking help for your studies. And then study groups. You can do study groups within the tutoring center, or you can simply find a few of your classmates to do those study groups with. And then your instructors. So a lot of teachers have open office. So open office hours. So that is the perfect time to go in. You can have that one-on-one with the actual person that's teaching you these things, right? And then you know what is difficult for you. So it is your turn to self-advocate. It's time for you to advocate for yourself and say, you know what, I do need a little extra help. So maybe this time I'm going to ask that question in class, or maybe this time I'm going to email my teacher for that extra help, or try to construct that study group. So if you're struggling with math and you need help help changing your narrative
in anything, right?
Yeah.
If you're
In
struggling,
math,
Yeah.
So this change that narrative. We just want to just tell you this time and time again throughout this presentation, you can do it. And it starts with you.
And it's about planting those seeds. And
Mm.
we're here to help you change your narrative. And thank you. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, thank you. Goodbye, everyone.